I'm going to go ahead and introduce Zach as well because I want him to jump in anytime he feels the need.
We'll be tag teaming this.
So Zach is the director of production. Why don't you tell him real quick what you went to school for and then what you do here?
Absolutely. Yeah, so I went to school for mechanical engineering of all things, but I found that I was really passionate about education and design and the overlap of those fields with technology. And so I ended up working for Lobaki in the very early days of the company, kind of as an intern, and then started working here in July 2020, peak pandemic, and we were looking for alternative ways to engage students and engage schools in remote learning. So I've been leading our development team for that period of time as we build out a pretty expansive library of educational VR content, both for K-12, career technical education, and enterprise solutions.
We started off as an after-school program. Our initial focus was just teaching this sort of thing of how do you create educational training experiences with virtual reality. We're basically a one-stop shop where we provide hardware, we set up, we do teacher training, but of course our main focus is creating the content inside the headsets of all different subject matters, right? From K-12 through CTE. And so that's our main thing that's been going on for basically since Zach got here is our Immersive Institute, where we do either full CGI experiences or 360 video, and we're going to get into all these terms you'll hear so many times that it'll eventually make sense.
Yeah, but broadly speaking, all of the educational content that we make and we have as this library, we call it the Immersive Institute. And so like Vinny was saying, that is both CGI, so when you put on a headset, the fully 3D environments with all of the interactions that you can do for real immersive hands-on learning, as well as 360 video. And those numbers are a little bit out of date, actually. We've got something on the order of like 110 CGI experiences and close to 1,000 360 videos in our catalog now.
Yeah, so an old slide.
Ever growing and expanding.
We're never not developing new stuff.
That's right.
But the point of this webinar is about how you can too. You know, if you've got headsets in your schools, a lot of schools that we work with have 360 cameras, and this is really all about, you know, we can make some pretty complicated stuff, but you don't have to start there. All the tools that we use are publicly available. Most of the tools are free to get started with as far as the software. Not all of them, but we you know, we have a standard operating procedure, and we're not using any super secret proprietary tools in order to do it. Initial focus, pretty much the main focus of day one here, is 360 videos. So they're the easiest to produce. They're the most straightforward, and they're a huge benefit, especially for CTE and career exposure, just to be able to give people experiences that, you know, would be quite a lot of logistics in order to get in the real world.
360 videos are fantastic media for somebody's first touch on VR. If you've never put on a headset before, you know, oftentimes people say, "Oh, I hate VR." Well, okay, you put on a headset and somebody stuck you on a roller coaster and you got seasick. Horrible example.
Not the way to start.
A really, really good first touch for virtual reality is a clean, simple 360 video where I am showing you the world as it is. Maybe I've got some overlaid graphics to kind of deliver an additional point, but 360 videos are great for that first touch, that first exposure of a subject, and just keeping things clean and curated so that there's as little opportunity for things to go wrong as possible when somebody gets in a headset.
Yeah, because ultimately it's just a video, right? It's just gonna play whatever was recorded in sequence. So yes, down to the minutia of it, video is a series of still images played quickly in sequence to give the appearance of motion, right? And with 360 cameras, we're basically combining multiple views into one. So if you see this top picture, that's really what the image looks like when it's flat, right? That's the entire view all around you, ceiling and floor of an environment. So the main difference is the 360 video gets played on the inside of a ball, right? So instead of seeing that flat, stretched, distorted version, we play it on the inside of a sphere and we put you inside that sphere. So you're looking around and you feel like you're actually in the environment and experiencing the actual location. So that's why it is so effective, especially for career training. I mean, we do a lot of this stuff just for, you think about field trips and the logistics of getting a busload of kids in order to go to actual museum or national park versus the camera crew going there, capturing it in 360, and then the students being able to experience it over and over and over again, you know, in the headset, anywhere, anytime.
It's a great tool for taking your students to places that they couldn't go and see what they would otherwise be unable to see. But it's also a great way to just kind of cut down on the amount of resources that you need consistently to be able to teach students some sort of principle. So maybe you are recording some complex equipment being used, or recording your super professional teacher or trainer going through their spiel, and they only work part-time, but now you've got them on camera in this immersive way, and you've got that presentation forever and ever. One really good example that we could mention quickly is when you went to Colin Community College.
Right. We were recently working with Colin, their radiology department. You know, they have a couple headsets, they have some 360 cameras, and their issue is, you know, doing that presentation of how to use the X-ray equipment, you know, for all the different scenarios, a leg versus a shoulder versus, you know, which view, and really just the size of the room and with all the equipment in there limits it to, they can kind of only run, you know, 2 or 3 students through it at a time. So we were showing them the process of just do what you normally do, but record it. And now the students will be able to get that information at any point that's convenient. And of course, it's the same every time, you know, points aren't missed, and they can do it repeatedly and get the benefit of repetition in that presentation without, you know, the teacher having to be involved for every single iteration. And especially with things that are consumables, right? For like the auto body professors that we've talked to, that's a major thing because you got to get everyone around, you know, this dented panel on the car and bash it out and hope that everyone's got a good enough view that they understand what you're doing. And then, you know, you can only do that so many times before something's broken. So anytime something is going to get used up during a presentation, we do it in 360, and now we have infinite supply.
So when Vinny went out to Colin Community College, he actually gave their instructors a training on how to use these 360 cameras, how to, you know, get them up and running and film what you want to film, and best practices for producing their own content so that they can actually get started with their own technology and implement in the classroom. And that's essentially the exact same stuff that we're going to cover with you all today.
We're going to go ahead and just demonstrate the whole process from start to finish of use a 360 camera and watch it on the headset.